Coming up on Jersey Sports Zone, crazy point totals in the Shore Conference. 101 at Red Bank Catholic hosting Middletown North, and how about 90 more in the Howell Freehold Boro showdown?
This is Alex Lorenzo at Paramus Catholic. The Paladins hosting Seton Hall Prep. Both teams coming off of losses last week, and get ready to see a wild one. Highlights of the Pirates and Paladins coming up on Jersey Sports Zone.
This is Nary Rodriguez in Basking Ridge, where the streak continues for the Westfield Blue Devils. See how they were able to prevail to 27 straight victories in this classic Mid-State 38 matchup.
Crosstown rivals Hillsborough and Bridgewater met up at Bridgewater's home stadium, where star running back number 24, David Uswick, came up with 3 touchdowns. You do not want to miss this one. Highlights coming up on Jersey Sports Zone.
Reporting for Jersey Sports Zone, I'm Jay Cook. Here in Little Silver, the Matawan Regional Huskies bounced back after a 62-point loss last week to St. John Vianney. Behind the running of Devontae Spann and his 3 touchdowns, Matawan Regional came out on top. Highlights coming next on JerseySportsZone.com.
I'm Mike Frankel in Richland for a big-time matchup in the West Jersey Football League. St. Augustine squaring off against Williamstown, both teams with wins a week ago, and both the Braves and the Hermits looking to make it 2 in a row this week. We'll have all the action for you coming up in just a bit.
It's week 2 of high school football in the state of New Jersey. I'm Rich Krampanis. Thanks so much for logging on to JerseySportsZone.com. We are all around the state bringing you great high school football action. And when we get the opportunity to get to a great ball game, it's not going to be just 1 or 2 touchdowns. We're going to take you through every step of the way, bringing a new level of coverage here in the Garden State. So with that in mind, we get started right here in Red Bank, New Jersey. RBC at Middletown North put on a laser light show. Let's check out a whole bunch of highlights. Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of Red Bank Catholic is being brought to you by Playables of Red Bank. Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of RBC football is being brought to you by the Two River Times. What a shootout we had. The bagpipes are out as RBC opens its home campaign against Middletown North. It was 6-0 North early. RBC answers right back. Steve Lubisher to Brandon Lombana all the way down to the 21-yard line. And it would lead to this. Play action, Lubisher to Kevin Bauman. 2nd TD of the year for the sophomore tight end. We're tied up at 6 apiece. This Middletown North team had an unbelievable first half. Connor Robbins, right side, 10-yard touchdown. The Lions have a 13-6 lead. But every time North scored, RBC had an answer, and Steve Lubisher, he did something special with his feet here. Look at Lubisher on the run, switching fields, and Steve Lubisher showing his dangerous ability to run with the football. So elusive. That is a gain of 40 yards down to the 31, and Lubisher was just getting started. Here, great protection from the OL. Lubisher's on the move again. Straight sprint right side. Eludes another defender. Touchdown Steve Lubisher. 13-13 after 1. 4 possessions in the first quarter, 4 touchdowns. Same story in the second. Sean Glenn goes to the air. Austin DeWise, one of the best defensive ends in the Shore Conference. He's a dangerous threat as a tight end. That's down to the 13-yard line. And Sean Glenn, the junior, we found out that he has got a wonderful passing game. That is a gorgeous ball to Paul Dunleavy. Touchdown North, 20-13 Lions. RBC would turn to its ground game. Look at that push by the O-line. Great blocking there. Zach Bear takes advantage. 31 yards for Bear. 6 drives, 6 TDs. We're tied up at 20 apiece. And then Middletown North takes the lead again. This is absolutely gorgeous. Look at the majestic Friday night lights. Glenn to Aiden Campbell, 54 yards. That is gorgeous. 27-20 Middletown North in front. But once again, RBC would just pound and ground in the first half. Bear with another touchdown. This covers 10 yards. We're tied at 27 apiece. No one's surprised to see Middletown North's offense do things like this. Connor Welsh changing directions. Welsh, they got the two Connors, Robbins and Welsh. They're a great 1-2 punch. That run is awesome. And it would lead to this. Connor Robbins from a yard out, 3:54 to go in the half. It's 34-27 Lions. And it looked like Middletown North was primed for an upset because here, an INT by Billy Barilari. For the first time, there's no touchdown on a drive, and then still late second quarter, DeWise got a hand on it on the pressure. Connor Welsh with the INT. Two big picks by Middletown North. They've got a chance to go up 2 scores heading into halftime. But this play right here is critical. Matt Ansell comes up with an interception. And now the Caseys have the ball with under a minute to go, down by 7. And how about this for a swing in the momentum? Steve Lubisher makes some crazy moves, and he's gone with just 10 seconds to go in the half. Oh, wow. Lubisher, 50 yards. We're tied up at 34 apiece. Middletown North simply ran out of gas in the second half, and the Caseys kept on chugging. That is Lubisher with the go-ahead touchdown pass to Nick Bruska. That makes it 40-34, and then the big play of the second half is here. The roller goes to Zach Baer, and Zach Baer has got major wheels. He picked up an offer this week from Lafayette. More college offers to come for Zach Baer. He is electric. 77 yards on the punt return, and then RBC really pours it on. Bruska, another touchdown up the middle. I would assume that Nick Bruska, Zach Baer, Steve Lubisher, they're going to thank their offensive line up and down. The line set the tone. Bruska, one more time from 18 yards out, and the RBC Caseys go on to a 60-41 win. That is 101 points of football. You got to give a lot of credit to Middletown North. They reached the state finals last year. A lot of people thought, hey, down year, rebuilding time for Middletown North. But the Lions showed that they are going to be one dangerous football team in 2017. The Caseys were outstanding on offense. Lubisher had 2 touchdowns rushing, 2 touchdowns passing. Zach Baer had 3 total TDs, 107 yards in that 77-yard punt return. You had 2 former NFL assistant coaches, Frank Edgerly and Steve Bush. They both run stellar programs. This game was a treat to watch. And after the game, we caught up with Lubisher and Baer about how RBC was able to get it done in the second half.
Yeah, you know, they had a lot of talent on offense, and it showed tonight, but we were well conditioned over the summer, and it definitely showed, and we came out in the second half ready to play. It definitely, you know, our offense was definitely clicking tonight, and it showed. You know, 60 points is pretty impressive for us, and you know, we knew we had to do a lot. The defense was struggling, so we did what we had to do.
We just went into the locker room knowing that we're a family. Like, nothing can break us apart. Even during the first half, we know it was a tough time, but we just came together in the locker room, really got pumped up, and came away in the second half.
Let's head up north. The Pirates of Seton Hall Prep visiting Paramus Catholic. Both teams coming off of losses in week 1, and get ready for a thriller. On the Paladins' first possession, we get a look at Xavier DeVore, and he breaks free for a 27-yard gain, and it sets the stage for the first score of the game. It's 6'3", 230 pounds of Henry Pearson. Get out of his way! He bowls his way into the end zone. 13-yard touchdown run, 7-0 Paramus Catholic in front. Seton Hall with a different look at QB. They go to the sophomore, Matt Colantuono, and he keeps it himself for a 14-yard gain. And then the Pirates would get on the board thanks to the foot of Zach Hoban. Hoban, from 22 yards out, we've got a 7-3 ball game, 1:45 to go in the first quarter. After a stop by Seton Hall defense. This is Jelani Mason on the punt return, and Mason's going to make defenders miss. Look at this. 50-yard touchdown. Wow. That was awesome. Jelani Mason puts Seton Hall Prep in front 10-7. Paladins defense would answer in the second. Colton Celentano rips down Cameron Carty for the sack. Dorian Hardy scoops it up. And the future Penn State Nittany line is on the move deep into Seton Hall territory. That turnover would turn into points. Xavier DeVol untouched in the end zone. Great blocking there. 13-10 Paramus Catholic at the half. We fast forward to late in the third quarter. It's Colin Tuono on the keeper. That is a hard-fought 16 yards. Move the chains, first down Pirates. The drive continues at the start of the fourth quarter. Colin Tuono from 2 yards out. Seton Hall Prep takes the lead. It's 17-13, just 7 seconds into the fourth quarter. And things just get crazy in the fourth because Xavier DeVol answers right back. Look at DeVol go. He finds an opening. This is a gain of 49 yards. That's a good-looking run right there. 3rd and goal now from the 5-yard line for Paramus Catholic. Shelton Applewhite, that's great play action. Pearson, 5-yard touchdown. It's 20-17. Paramus Catholic takes the lead back, but we've got 8:23 to go, and this one would go back and forth. Carty in at quarterback. To Andrew Perez. We saw this connection last week against Don Bosco. That's good for 40 yards. Then it's Carty with the dump pass to Kyle Monangai. And check out Monangai with the great run after the catch. He's in the paint, 31 yards. Seton Hall Prep with a 24-20 lead. So now Paramus Catholic down 4 with under 5 minutes to play. And here's Applewhite over the top to Henry Pearson. He says this is like playing Madden, and he's using the controller to program his feet. I'll tell you what, that is some play by Henry Pearson. Goodness gracious. 79 yards, 27-24 with 5 minutes to go in the game. Just 24 seconds later, it's Monangai on the loose. Look at this little nifty move. Whoop! 2 defenders go down. Monangai goes 68 yards. And Seton Hall Prep is on the doorstep. But Henry Pearson can get it done on defense as well. Look at Pearson with a big stick right there. So Seton Hall Prep has to settle for a game-tying field goal. Hoban from 25 yards, 1:21 to go. We're tied at 27. Final minute of regulation. Applewhite's pass picked off by Anthony Algieri. Algieri to the 28. We've got 30 seconds to go. Seton Hall with a chance to win it in regulation. Zach Hoban lines up for a 43-yard field goal for the win. Oh my, just wide right. Oh, good news. We're going to overtime, tied at 27. Seton Hall gets it first in OT. Carty's pass broken up nicely here. Look at the D there by Aljaquan McDougal. Seton Hall kicks a field goal, 30-27, as Hoban gets redemption from 36 yards. The Prep lead is 3. So now it's Paramus Catholic needing a field goal to force double overtime, or they can go for the win. And Shelton Applewhite goes up top. Mohamed Toure for the win. Boom! That just happened. Paramus Catholic gets the game winner, 25 yards, and it's an overtime win for the Paladins. That is one awesome football game from the north part of the state. So excited that Jersey Sports Zone can bring you such a great quality level of football. And the final, 33-30 in overtime. I'll say it right now, Seton Hall Prep might be the best 0-2 team in New Jersey. They are a very good football team. Wins are going to come. Seton Hall Prep just has to keep grinding. Paramus Catholic wins it in OT. Applewhite had 3 TD passes. Pearson had 111 receiving yards and 3 TDs. Our Alex Lorenzo was there to capture all of those awesome highlights, and he got post-game reaction from the victorious Paramus Catholic Paladins.
Thanks a lot, Rich. What a finish here in Paramus. We saw 5 touchdowns and 2 field goals in the fourth quarter and overtime alone, ultimately ending with a game-winning touchdown pass by Shelton Applewhite. And after the game, I caught up with the victorious Paramus Catholic Paladins.
We just went in last week too soft. I mean, we thought we were going to win. We thought we had it. No, we didn't. So we came out this week just every day. We were practicing harder and harder, and it showed. We didn't give up, and those overtime and everything, and it really paid off. I mean, I've been playing Madden my whole life, learning those moves. So, I mean, just took it from the controller to my legs, you know what I mean?
Seton Hall's a heck of a football team. They play as hard as anybody, and we were able to make one more play than them. You know, I thought it was gut check time. I thought we showed some heart and desire there at the end, and you know, it's worth it. I hope our guys are happy because it was worth it. Yeah, you got a couple hours to enjoy this. You know, that's it. And then we got another really good football team coming in. But we're excited about being home, and you know, hopefully we can prepare well this week and be able to show up and play a good football game next week.
The Paladins won't have much time to celebrate this one as they get ready for a big showdown with Bergen Catholic. That game coming up on Friday night right here in Paramus. With Jersey Sports Zone, I'm Alex Lorenzo.
Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of Hillsborough and Bridgewater-Raritan is being brought to you by Princeton Orthopedic Associates. Bridgewater-Raritan High School, the site for another fantastic finish in Week 2 of New Jersey high school football. Hillsborough paying a visit to Bridgewater-Raritan. Great atmosphere in this one. The blackout for the Bridgewater fans against the whiteout from Hillsborough, and it starts with defense. Charles Amankwa comes up with an interception in the opening minute of the game, and Hillsborough's going to get on the board thanks to Matt Moore, the quarterback, the southpaw. Nice throw over the middle to Justin Brown, 14 yards, 7-0 Raiders in front. Bridgewater-Raritan goes to the air. This is Brandon Myers with a 30-yard catch from Greg Verano down to the 6-yard line, and it would lead to this. David Uswick, 6 yards, good vision right there. We're about to see some big things from Uswick. It's a 7-7 game. Moore continued to effectively move the ball down the field. Look at this run after the catch by Jackson Parham. This is an awesome touchdown, 55 yards. Hillsborough takes a 14-7 lead late in the first quarter. And here's Uswick. Nice little stutter step, able to change directions well there. Uswick is able to pick up a first down, good for a gain of 20. This drive would continue in the second quarter. Justin Bryant gets all the way down to the 1-yard line. And Bridgewater-Raritan cashes in on the QB keep. Greg Verano from a yard out. We've got a 14-14 game. More good defense here is Bridgewater-Raritan falling on the loose football. Lawrence Nice comes up with a fumble recovery. And Bridgewater is able to take that turnover and create 3 points as a result. Nick Bolero, Bridgewater's field goal is good, 17-14. But in the closing moments of the first half, this is Tyler Boatwright, 45 yards. You see the clock ticking down. Wow, Boatwright gives Hillsborough a 21-17 lead at the half. Second half, this game continues to be tight throughout. Greg Verano on the QB keeper. This is a great run by Verano. He is able to get all the way down to the 5-yard line. But Verano would get banged up, left for a play, gets back in. Uswick with his second touchdown from a yard out. It's 24-21 Panthers in front. And Uswick wasn't done there. In the fourth quarter, this touchdown, his third of the game, makes it 31-21. Bridgewater-Raritan is up by 10. But Hillsborough would mount a remarkable comeback. Moore goes up top. Justin Brown, go and get it. 35-yard touchdown. Hillsborough's down just one, 31-30. Hillsborough could kick the extra point or they could go for the win. And here's the pass, but Moore's pass is incomplete. And it is Bridgewater-Raritan hanging on for the 31-30 win over Hillsborough. What a fantastic game played by both teams. So it's Hillsborough with a chance to force overtime. Instead, on the road, they elect to go for 2 points in the win. A gutsy call, but it's Bridgewater-Raritan hanging on. Uswick was awesome. 30 carries, 124 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Courtney Dupont with post-game reaction as the Panthers improved to 2-0 on the season.
Thanks, Rich. After the game, I spoke with head coach Scott Bray and David Uswick to discuss those 3 touchdowns and how Bridgewater pulled this one off.
You know, he's a great job. He's a great asset. He runs the ball hard. He's determined. You know, he's determined and he's focused, and he believes in his offensive line. You know, and you see that as he goes in there. And so I was happy he was able to come through with that.
Yeah, so I just follow my blockers every single time, and they opened it up today. So it was a great game, and I'm just proud of my whole team. I'm feeling great. Yeah, it's always a great feeling, but more importantly, we got the win. We gave everything we had, and I can't be prouder of my brothers because we fought all the way to the end, and we came out on top.
You know, our game plan offensively, we knew we had to control the line of scrimmage, and we luckily started doing that in the second half. You know, and the second thing was trying to stop their passing game. You know, they have an incredible amount of athletes over there, and Coach Carty does a great job getting everybody the ball. And we knew they were going to make big plays. It was just, could we outscore them? And, you know, and that's what we did in the second half. Both of us played a little sloppy, but I guess we played the better half of the sloppy.
We hand off our coverage over to Neri Rodriguez, who had the action of Westfield and Ridge.
Thanks, Rich. 26. That's how many consecutive games the Westfield Blue Devils have won. And after a hard-fought game with Ridge today, they were able to make it 27 in what felt like a postseason December matchup. The Ridge High School Red Devils hosting the Westfield Blue Devils. Safe to say, it's a Devil Bowl. Ridge wins the toss and chooses to receive. Opening drive. Devin Stauglitz finds the hole and heads downfield for a 23-yard touchdown run to put the Red Devils on the board early. 7-0, 10 remaining in the first. Ridge crowd liking what they see. Westfield's turn, their opening drive. Tim Allegro gets the pitch and hits the corner like a madman. He takes this 29 yards down the right side to tie the game at 7 with 7:44 remaining in the first quarter. Lots of defense in the first. Roy McGovern and Shea Elliott connect on this joint sack to force a punt. Next possession for the Blue Devils. Hank Shapiro tries to recover this bad snap, but Ridge falls on it to begin the second quarter. Following the turnover, you can't make this stuff up. The Red Devils fumble the ball, and Westfield gets it back. They take over in good field position. Next drive after the fumble recovery, another bad snap, but Westfield recovers. I know the band sold a lot of popcorn during this one. Not sure if that has anything to do with it. Next play, Shapiro rolls out looking for his man, but Nolan Hughes is there with the big interception. That's the half. Opening drive for the Blue Devils. They try to go for it on 4th down, but Christopher Byrne is there with the big stop for his team. Ridge on that next possession. Quarterback Brandon Radis takes this one himself, and unfortunately this play would take him out of the game with an injury. Westfield gets the ball back, and Hank Shapiro sends this one to the heavens as Steve Barden comes down with a 36-yard touchdown pass to make it 13-7 Blue Devils. Extra point no good. Westfield will start to turn it up after that score. Start of the fourth quarter, Blue Devils in the red zone. But wait, that's 225 Jake Valabera at quarterback. He runs it in for the 3-yard touchdown to make it 20-7 Westfield. Under 8 minutes remaining, Ridge trying to get something going, and Drew Ortiz plays spoiler. A field goal from Aiden Bolin for some ambiance, and it will be victory formation after that. Number 20 Westfield beats number 19 Ridge to increase that win streak to 27 straight. That's an entire baseball game worth of outs. Afterwards, we caught up with quarterback Hank Shapiro and head coach Jim DeSarno on their keys to success and what number 27 means.
I mean, what's all? We knew we could move the ball on them. We just got to keep pounding. Our line did an amazing job with the running game, and then that opened up the pass game, which, you know, it was great to get a win tonight. It's awesome, man. I mean, we're just streaks at 2 this year, but we're going to keep moving this year and see how we can do.
We played 4 quarters of football. I mean, you got to play this team, to play Ridge, to be successful against them, you have got to play 4 quarters. You can't take plays off because they're going to find you when you take a play off, and our defense didn't take any plays off today. It feels good. You know, 2 feels good. You know, we're worried about this team. You know, we don't worry about streaks.
Westfield takes on Watchung Hills next week. For Jersey Sports Zone, I'm Neri Rodriguez.
Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of Edison is brought to you by Immediate Care Medical Walk-In of Edison.
When Sayreville took the field versus Edison on Friday night, they did so without their head coach Chris Began, who was suspended 1 game after he was ejected from the Bombers' first game against East Brunswick. Taking over the head coaching duties, offensive coordinator Michael Novak. We picked things up in the second quarter, no score, but it all changed on one big play. Mark Whitford, he's got Elijah Clark wide open, 54 yards. Hey, Temple's getting a good one next year in Clark. Meanwhile, Edison was struggling to get anything going offensively. Dean Escobar, nowhere to throw, nowhere to hide. Connor Anthony, one of 5 sacks for Sayreville. Late second quarter, the Bombers driving again. Inside handoff goes to Connor Holmes. Nice cutback, and he can walk in. 18 yards. Sayreville led it 14-0 at the half. Third quarter, this looks like the same play call, but this time it's Zareel Wright. Right down Ernston Road, breaking tackles and dragging guys inside the 20 to the Edison 14. And on the next play, Whitfield fakes the handoff, throws it out to Jakari Carter. He has eyes for the end zone. Just like that, it's 21-0 Sayreville. Meanwhile, the Eagles continued to struggle on offense thanks to a swarming Bomber defense. Big hit by Tristan Bear. Edison gained just 113 yards of total offense. Fourth quarter we go. The Bombers put it away. It's Holmes, his second rushing touchdown. He finished with 104 yards on the ground. Sayreville totaled 400 yards of offense in a 28-0 victory.
Congratulations to you guys on an awesome team effort. I can't guys. Hey, before the game, we talked about being a family. We talked about playing for our teammates, playing for Mike Germain, and playing for your head coach, and you guys did it. You guys played hard, you came together, and it was a tremendous team effort. We're proud of each and every one of you guys. Great job.
Sayreville will look to remain undefeated next week when they tackle New Brunswick. Brian DiNovellis for JerseySportsZone.com.
Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of Freehold Boro is being brought to you by HIT Training. Let's go back to the Shore Conference. What an atmosphere at Howell High School. The Rebels hosting Freehold Boro. This game had a ton of points. And the Rebels strike first. Eddie Morales on third down to Ryan Mazik. He's got the first down and a whole lot more. 59 yards for Ryan Mazik. 7-0 Howell early, and the Rebels were just getting started. Nick Chambers ran with a purpose on Friday night. Chambers to the house, 81 yards. Just like that, 14-0 Howell. But Freehold Boro has one of the most dangerous men in New Jersey. How does Ashanti Worthy make moves like that? Worthy is off the charts. Look at him outrun a speedy Howell secondary, 86 yards, 14-7 in the first quarter. And Worthy wasn't done there. Here, an 18-yard run. Look at the little stiff arm right there. Ashanti Worthy makes it a 14-14 game. Second quarter now. The Colonials driving. But here is Ryan Mazik with the INT. Turnover's a big story in the second quarter. And then it's Morales to Brandon Wilson for 17 yards. And then it's Chambers on the ground again, the senior. The little hurdle move right there, 32 yards. 20-14, the Rebels go up 6. Colonials driving in the final minute before they have big play of the game here. This is Naseem Brantley. And Naseem Brantley able to get past Worthy. Another defender. How about 94 yards for the pick 6? 27-14 Howell at the half. Third quarter, Morales, 9 yards through the air to Patrick Handy, makes it 34-14. Meanwhile, Howell still couldn't have an answer for Ashanti Worthy. This 16-yard run on 4th and 1. Ashanti Worthy had amazing numbers. He cashes in from a yard out, but it's 34-21, and Howell kept on scoring because Brantley has an answer. Naseem Brantley, Division I prospect. He shows it right there. 23 yards for the score, makes it 41-21. And Worthy was just trying to carry the Colonials on his back. That is a 21-yard run, and another touchdown for Ashanti Worthy makes it 41-28. But in the fourth, the Rebels defense steps up again. Mazik pulls down another Howell interception, and he's gone. Another pick six for Howell, makes it 47-28. And the offensive shootout continues. Worthy shows he can do it all. Here he turns a potential loss into another big game. He had over 300 yards rushing, 268 yards through the air. Here on the tip drill, touchdown, Javonte Hare from 26 yards out. But Howell had too much firepower in this one. The Colonials need the onside kick, down 13. But Howell's able to fall on that football. And the final score of the game comes here. Gerard Urso gets in on the action. Urso is gone, 51 yards. And what a win for the Howell Rebels. 55-35 is your final. Ashanti Worthy, in a losing effort, has 327 yards rushing with 4 touchdowns, 268 yards passing with a TD throw. So in 2 games, Ashanti Worthy has over 1,000 yards of offense. But it's Howell getting a 20-point win. Worthy had 3 interceptions in the second quarter. That Nassim Brantley pick six was absolutely mammoth. Mazik was tremendous on offense and defense. The Howell Rebels are the real deal. They're 2-0 after a 55-35 win over Freehold Boro. Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of St. John Vianney is brought to you by Paver Restoration. Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of Raritan is being brought to you by BCB Bayshore, your community bank. We get our first look at one of the most dangerous teams in the Shore Conference. That's Johnny Buchanan. The St. John Vianney Lancers are steamrolling the competition early in the season, taking on Raritan. That's Hazik Daniels to A.J. Calabro. Look at him go, 28 yards for the first down. 6 plays later, this St. John Vianney offense just matriculates down the field. Daniels rolls right. Zaire Sterling's got it, 12 yards. That's an 89-yard drive, 7-0 Lancers. St. John Vianney's defense is ferocious. Nick Denseski had 15 sacks last year. He's building up his total in his senior season. Denseski's a good one. Raritan's forced to punt. Next drive, Hazik Daniels to A.J. Calabro, and look at Calabro go. He shakes that one tackler. See ya. 37 yards, 14-0, 6.5 minutes still to go in the first quarter. After a Raritan 3-and-out, Daniels goes back to work. Little play action right here. He keeps this one himself. 30 yards for Hazik Daniels. So he's got 2 TD passes and a touchdown run, and there's still 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. How about some more D? This Johnny Buchanan, he's got about 9 FCS offers. I wish I could offer him. This kid can go. He is an awesome player. Makes the drive stall right there, and then Daniels looks to go downfield. Nice play here by the Raritan secondary. Israel Ramirez. Good return after the pick down to the 40-yard line. But the St. John Vianney defense would buckle down. Nothing comes from that pick, and Daniels goes right back to work. Nice quick pass to Nick DiGennaro. A 10-yard scoring play. That made it 28-0. And the St. John Vianney Lancers roll to a 55-7 win. Great to see Lancer Nation out in full force for an impressive SJV victory. St. John Vianney has scored 124 points in their first 2 games. Daniels, 8 of 10 for 146 yards. He had 4 passing TDs, 2 rushing touchdowns. The Lancers win it 55-7 over Raritan to improve to 2-0 on the season. Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of Red Bank Regional is being brought to you by Risers Landscape Supply. Home opener in Little Silver, Nick Giglio and Red Bank Regional hosting Matawan. At the half, the Huskies had a 14-0 lead on the road. First drive of the second half, Devontae Spann. He had 2 touchdowns in the first half. He continued to grind out the yards. And here's Spann again. He was a workhorse. After this first down run, the drive would stall. The Huskies would pin RBR deep in their own territory. Jonathan Ogunbreno hustles down the field and makes an awesome special teams play. That is big time right there. Downs it at the 1-yard line. But RBR would have an answer. This is Nigel Mitchell jostling his way through the defense. He is gone. Mitchell with an 85-yard touchdown, and RBR is right back in the game. It's 14-7 with under 5 minutes to go in the third. Mitchell's all fired up on the sidelines, but Matawan would have an answer because Devontae Spann shakes some tacklers, and he is dancing down the sideline. Spann, 74 yards. That is an awesome touchdown run. His third score of the game, 20-7 Huskies with 7.5 minutes to go in the game. From there, head coach John Kay would lean on his outstanding defense. Steven Nowitzki under immense pressure, and it's a group sack for the Matawan defense. And it was Matawan controlling the play the rest of the way. Nowitzki was under fire throughout the fourth quarter. Another sack involving multiple Matawan players. This Huskies defense really shined when it mattered the most. Here's one more sack from Matawan as the Huskies pick up their first win of 2017, an impressive road victory. And that's worth dancing about for sure. 20-7 is your final. You see the numbers for Devontae Spann. 21 carries, 185 yards, 3 touchdowns. Red Bank Regional with a couple of tough losses to open the season, an overtime loss at JFK Island, and now this home loss. Red Bank Regional has a tall task next week with St. John Vianney, but these kids got to keep working hard because that first victory is coming soon. Matawan victorious on the road, and our Jay Cook got post-game reaction from the Huskies.
Thanks, Rich. Here in Little Silver, the Matawan Huskies came to play. A 3-touchdown performance by senior running back Devontae Spann paced the Huskies and led them to a 20-7 win. After the game, we caught up with Spann and head coach John Kay about getting back on track and playing Matawan football.
This is really big because the whole shore is down us. We said in my interviews before that we were going to shock the shore, and we got blown out, but this is a really big bounce back, and we're going to come back on top.
You know, I mean, we're going to be a physical, you know, bring it every day kind of football team. So, you know, we're going to have to line up and pound the rock and do some things that, you know, and we got to be patient, you know, until we find some consistency in what we're doing offensively. We've got a young, inexperienced club, so while we find ourselves, we got to continue to play great defense.
Next Friday, Matawan heads back home to take on the Monmouth Regional Falcons, a team that's gotten off to a very good start so far in 2017. Reporting for Jersey Sports Zone, I'm Jay Cook.
I'm SNJ Today's Mike Frankel for JerseySportsZone.com, where Week 2 is a crossover week in the West Jersey Football League, and one of the most intriguing matchups on the schedule features St. Augustine versus Williamstown. The Braves looking for a little payback after the Hermits handed them a lopsided loss a year ago. St. Augustine dipping into the bag of tricks on the first play from scrimmage. They fake the reverse and throw it downfield. Shamir Collins hooks up with Xavier File for a huge gain, and the Hermits are in business right away in this one. Later in the drive, the Prep knocking at the door, and True Robinson tumbles into the end zone from a yard out. St. Augustine wasting no time, up 7-0. Next Hermits possession, quarterback Chris Allen rolls to his right, throwing downfield for File, who makes a sensational catch. File and company are on the move once again. Down to the 1-yard line again, where Allen sneaks in on the QB sneak. St. Augustine jumps all over Williamstown to lead 14-0 after 1. Second quarter, the Braves going to the air on third down, but Jalen Dakota makes the interception. The Hermits Jr. takes off the other direction. Jalen Dakota weaving his way to a 48-yard pick six. The Braves are stunned as it's now 21-0. Next Prep possession, they go to the freshman. This is Patrick Smith, and he sprints 66 yards to the house. St. Augustine dominates from start to finish. 45-7 the final. Smith with a 64-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter to finish with 154 yards on the ground. File finishing with 81 yards receiving as the Hermits improve to 2-1. Williamstown falls to 1-1. Delsea at home to square off against Cedar Creek. First quarter, Crusaders in the red zone when Mason Maxwell connects with Tamir Kizzy for a 12-yard touchdown. Delsea misses the extra point but leads 6-0 early. The Pirates answered later in the first. Kamal Reed on the carry around the left side. Reed down the sideline, and he drags a defender into the end zone. A tough 9-yard touchdown run from Kamal Reed. Cedar Creek takes the lead on the extra point. Second quarter, Delsea goes back to the air as Maxwell throws to Shakai Hanna. The sophomore is in for the touchdown. It's a 21-yard pitch and catch to put the Crusaders back on top, 13-7. Hanna a force on defense as well. The Pirates are on the move before Hanna snares the ball out of the air for an interception. A good return plus a Cedar Creek penalty gives Delsea good field position. On the ensuing possession, the pitch to Hanna hits the ground, but the sophomore does not panic, picks the ball up and doubles back to the near side of the field. Shakai Hanna, are you kidding me? 35 yards to pay dirt, and the Crusaders extend that lead 21-7. Great field position for Delsea again after another Pirates turnover. Maxwell, the toss to Kizzy, and he strolls in from 14 yards out for his second score of the night. 28-7 at the half, 28-20 the final as the Crusaders hold off a late charge from the Pirates. Both teams are now 1-1 on the season. I'm Mike Frankel for JerseySportsZone.com.
What an awesome night of high school football action. We're going to get just a little bit of sleep and get it cranked right back up again with our Saturday highlight show. We'll be all over the state with 9 games of action, including St. Joe's Montvale tangling with Del Barton and many, many more great games. Coming up on Sunday, don't forget to check back with JerseySportsZone.com. Cast your vote for the top play captured by our cameras, and we'll have our Jersey Sports Zone game balls. 4 regions covered. Alex Lorenzo, Courtney DuPont, Neri Rodriguez, and myself all will have nominees from every part of the state. Thanks so much for watching a tremendous night of action here in the Garden State. I'm Rich Krampanis, and we'll see you tomorrow with more high school football right here on JerseySportsZone.com. Want to see highlights and features from your favorite school? Jersey Sports Zone is entirely supported by our great sponsors. Email marketing@JerseySportsZone.com to get your business in front of our loyal audience and highlights from your hometown.